Hey guys, it's your boy Jay, and this is Football Talk. And today's video, I will be reacting to 10 players you won't believe won 2 Super Bowls. Shout out to TPS for this video. This came out yesterday, I do believe, but I just saw it today. And the thumbnail had my boy Blunt. If you guys do not remember LeGarrette Blunt, dude was a workhorse. He was a monster for the Patriots. Then he got wait, what? How was it? He got traded to the Steelers, and then he got traded back to the Patriots. Then he got cut, and then the Eagles picked him up, and the Eagles. Oh, by the way, shout out to the Eagles for winning their second Super Bowl last night. He won the Eagles. He won with the Eagles team that won the first Super Bowl couple years ago. So yeah, that's the one I can think of right now. Can't think of any others. But I'm ready to find out who else won 2 Super Bowls that we do not know about. Hopefully you guys are ready to hop into this as well. This is Football Talk Gaming, by the way. Let's jump right into this.
Winning a Super Bowl is hard enough. Winning multiple? Well, that's supposed to be reserved for Hall of Famers.
How many is that, my brother? How many is that?
That's 3, Prime.
3?
Sir.
Wait, what?
Somehow, these guys walked away with 2 or more rings, even if their
won
careers were
3?
not exactly legendary in their own right. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Chris Long, 2-time champion, New England Patriots, and
Oh,
Philadelphia
yeah, my
Eagles.
boy Chris Long.
Long's career was on life support when he joined New England in 2016. The former second overall pick had never lived up to the hype at the Rams, and at 31, it
he was
looked
with the
like he was about to
Rams?
fade into irrelevance. Then he hit the championship lottery. He played a key rotational role in New England's 2016 title run, helping the Pats pull off the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history against Atlanta. And then
And Patrick Mahomes could
Long
never.
joined the Eagles in 2017, and not only did he win another ring, he helped take down the very team he won his first one with in back-to-back years. Yeah, not too bad
That
for
is
someone
crazy to
who's
think
almost out of
about.
the league. LeGarrette Blunt, 3-time champion with New England
He
Patriots.
won
and
3?
Philadelphia
Oh,
Eagles.
Seattle.
LeGarrette Blunt's career was all over
I
the place.
forgot about
Going
that
from being
Seattle Super Bowl.
undrafted to establishing himself as a legitimate starting back to getting cut by the Steelers for attitude issues to becoming a Patriots playoff hero. All over the course of 9 seasons. Say what you will about Mr.
That is
Blunt, but
crazy.
the fact of the matter is the man won championships, and he did so in a style that was true to himself. The guy was built like a battering ram, played like he had a
Hell yeah, he was.
opposing defenses, and somehow turned an up-and-down career into 3 Super Bowl rings through a path of pure chaos. Following his fallout with the Steelers, he was able to resurrect his career in New England. He won his first ring
Okay, I
in
did get that right.
2014, helped the Patriots again in 2016, and then, like Long, immediately flipped to Philly, where he led the Eagles in rushing yards during their Super Bowl
This
run
was
in
just crazy,
2017.
man.
The win over the Pats helped secure his legacy and made him one of the 6 players to have consecutive Super Bowl titles for different franchises. Charlie Batch, 2-time champion with Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wait,
Charlie
I heard
Batch
this
wasn't
name
a
before. I'm
star.
tripping.
He wasn't a Pro Bowler. He wasn't even a guy that
I've
you would
definitely
think twice
seen him
about
before.
slotting into your franchise in Madden. But you know, that didn't stop him from managing to become
Ain't gonna lie,
a
them yellow
2-time
helmets
Super Bowl
are fire.
champion. Batch started his career as a failed franchise quarterback in Detroit. He was taken in the 2nd round out of Eastern Michigan,
mean,
and he was
it
supposed
used to be
the
you go
guy
to
in the
Detroit,
Motor
you
City
going to
before
fail.
quickly becoming just another Lions draft bust. But in true NFL Survivor fashion, he reinvented himself in Pittsburgh, though not as a starter, but instead as a backup that you could trust not to completely tank the game if called upon. From 2002 to 2012,
So, game manager.
Batch made just 9 total starts, going 6-3 in those games. But thanks to being in the right locker room at the right time, he picked up 2 rings in 2005 and 2008. The man had a front row seat to a dynasty without ever having to take the hits. The best part, when he actually did step in,
That
he was
sign go
shockingly
win-win to
decent,
me.
notching a couple of nice wins and playing steady football when Big Ben was sidelined. He may not be a legend in NFL history, but in Pittsburgh, he's the patron saint of backup quarterbacks and 2-time Super Bowl champion nonetheless. Jimmy Garoppolo, 2-time
Jimmy
champion
G.
with the New
How?
England
How can I
Patriots.
forget
Jimmy
about my boy
Garoppolo
Jimmy
is the
G?
ultimate right place, right time kind of guy.
100%.
He's got 2 Super Bowl rings, all thanks to standing near
He
Tom
was
Brady.
probably
And
the
he even
best
managed to
backup
parlay the couple of
quarterback
starts that he did get
of
to
the
make
modern
into
day.
tens of millions of dollars. Drafted in the 2014 season as their heir apparent to Brady, Garoppolo spent his first 3 seasons as the most hyped backup in
That's
the
not
NFL,
saying much, by
thanks
the
in
way.
large part to Bill Belichick's thinly veiled plan to replace Brady with him. But while the debate over Brady versus Jimmy G raged on and tensions rose, Garoppolo collected 2 rings in 2014 and 2016 without ever playing a single Super Bowl snap. Then New England shipped him off to San Francisco, and for a while, it looked like Belichick might have actually been right. Jimmy G led the 49ers to Super Bowl 54, had a 10-point lead in the 4th quarter, and then, yeah, unfortunately, he collapsed. But that's the dark humor in Jimmy G being a 2-time champion as a backup.
That was
because
G's
once he
first
finally got
time
a shot to prove himself with the
winning
San Francisco
champion. Was it their
49ers,
first
well,
championship?
he crashed
No,
and
no,
burned
no,
at
I
the
don't think it
biggest
was their
moment.
first
Since
championship.
then, he has been a walking injury report, struggling to stay on the field while bouncing from San Francisco to Las Vegas. But no matter how many times he gets hurt, he'll always have more rings than Dan Marino. Dwight White, 4-time champion
Damn.
with Pittsburgh.
Wait, that's crazy to think about. He will always have more Super Bowl rings than Dan Marino. Jimmy G. Let's just let that sink in for a second. All right, let's get to it. Let's get back to this. That is crazy.
Steelers. If you're building a steel curtain Mount
Thor.
Rushmore, well, you're thinking of Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert, and Mel Blount. But Dwight White,
Yeah,
well,
them
I
Steelers
think
back
he
in the
gets
day, boy.
criminally overlooked. Nicknamed Mad Dog because of his relentless motor and
I've
absurd
definitely heard of
intensity on
him.
the
I heard the
gridiron and in
nickname
the
Mad
locker
Dog.
room, White was a key part
Ah,
of Pittsburgh's
okay,
4
okay.
Super Bowl winning teams in the 70s, playing
God,
defensive
look
end
how
on one of the
big these damn
greatest
shoulder
defenses in
pads
NFL
were.
history. His most memorable moment came in Super Bowl IX when he was hospitalized with pneumonia just days before the game, lost 18 pounds, and somehow still suited up to start. It wasn't just moral support either. He actually made a pivotal play in their Super Bowl matchup when he recorded an early safety that attributed for the team's only points during the half. Guess it shouldn't come as a surprise that the Steelers owner Dan Rooney called White one of the greatest players to ever wear a Steelers uniform. And he
Wow,
was named
that
the Steelers
that
all-time
praise
team in
right there, man.
1982
Hey,
and
that's all you
again in
need.
2007. Yet still, he has managed to fall out of
From
the
the
public
owner?
spotlight and
Come on
many
now.
NFL fans' memories in the time since. Lonnie Paxton, 3-time champion with New England Patriots. Lonnie Paxton spent 12 years in the NFL, and for 9 of those years, he played for the Patriots, which means that he too benefited greatly from playing with Brady. Paxton was the Patriots' long snapper from 2000 to 2008, meaning that he was there for all 3 of New England's early dynasty days and won 3 rings with the Pats. While the long snapper position doesn't quite get the shine as some others, it's still 3 rings, and well, 3 rings is 3 rings. Even if everyone is surprised to hear you accomplish that. 3 rings, never a bad snap in a big moment, and a celebration for the ages. Not too bad for a guy
Oh,
whose
that
job
was
is only to
him?
be
I ain't gonna lie,
noticed when it
that's
goes
one of the
wrong.
most
Jeff Hostetler,
iconic
2-time champion with New York Giants.
what's the names?
Jeff
Celebrations,
Hostetler might be
in
the
my
greatest
opinion.
emergency quarterback story ever told. For 7 years, Hostetler was the Giants' insurance policy, sitting behind Phil Simms with no real chance of seeing the field. Then, fate intervened. Simms went down in 1990, and Hostetler was suddenly thrust into action mid-season when Simms went down with an injury, leading New York through the playoffs and into Super Bowl 25. The result? A stunning upset over the Buffalo Bills and a championship for the ages. Hostetler played mistake-free football, made clutch throws, and cemented himself as one of the unlikeliest Super Bowl winning QBs in history. But what most people forget is that this was actually his second ring. You see, Hostetler won his first Super Bowl in 1983 as a backup for the Giants, never touching the field as they boat raced the Broncos 39-20. So, in a weird way, he went from being completely irrelevant to being the guy who saved a season, all while quietly stacking up 2 rings along the way. Damon Huard, 2-time champion with New England Patriots. Watch out, folks, we have another Tom Brady merchant. The little-known
I
Damon
don't even
Huard,
think I
who,
watched
over
him
the course
foot.
of 8
I mean,
years,
I
made
was a
27
little
starts and posted
boy
a 15-12 record as a
when
backup, which honestly is not that
this
bad
happened.
considering he came into the league as an undrafted
Not that
player.
old.
Though the fact of the matter is that if you even stepped foot in Foxborough in the early 2000s, chances are you walked away with at least 1 ring. I mean, think about
So I
Damon
was,
Huard.
what?
He barely
Hold
played,
on.
but
2004. I was like 5 years old. Yeah, I don't know.
Still, he ended up with 2 of them. After bouncing around as a career backup, even making a pit stop in NFL Europe with the Frankfurt Galaxy, Ewing
Ain't gonna
landed
lie,
in
them
New England
uniforms
just in
go
time for
crazy
the
though.
Brady-Belichick takeover, backing up Brady during the Patriots' first
Imagine
2
getting
Super Bowl
hit with
wins
one
in
of those rings.
2001 and 2003. Sure, the man's job was essentially watching Tom Brady do,
I do it for
well,
some
Tom Brady things, but
money.
when you're a 2-time champion, you're a 2-time champion, and no one can take that away from you. Mike Wilson, 4-time champion with San Francisco 49ers.
Okay,
The 1980s
yep.
49ers dynasty
This
was built
this
on
was
Joe Montana, Jerry
the
Rice,
dynasty
and
of the
Bill Walsh's
dynasties right here.
genius. But they obviously were not the only guys on the roster. Enter Mike Wilson, who, sure, was just kind of there, but he was there for everything.
So before you decide that I don't belong here, remember this. I was there.
Wilson was a 9th-round pick who never even cracked 500 yards in a season. Yet, he was on the roster for all 4 of San Francisco's Super Bowl wins. His total contributions in those title games? 10 catches. Yeah, that's right, just 10 career Super Bowl catches. 4 rings. Sheesh, talk about efficiency. Dennis Dixon, 2-time champion with Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens. Dennis Dixon might have had one of the strangest NFL careers ever. A Heisman hopeful at Oregon, Dixon tore his ACL in his senior year, causing his draft stock to plummet. He was ultimately taken in the 5th round by the Steelers in 2008, where he spent his entire NFL career as a backup. While the net of his career wasn't exactly what he desired, the result was still 2 Super Bowl rings in 2008 and 2012 for 2 different teams. Dixon played just 4 games and attempted only 59 passes in the NFL. He never even played in a playoff game, and yet he still somehow walked away with more championships than Dan Marino.
Okay,
But hey,
okay, I
which
understand.
NFL player were you most surprised to see 1-2?
It was a lot. It was a oh,
Plus
never mind.
rings.
Sorry.
Who did you already know here? Was there anyone notable that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then
I definitely learned more than a thing or two in this one right here. I forgot about my boy Chris Long. That's still crazy to think about with Chris Long and Blunt. They won a championship with the Patriots the year before, and then they went to the Philadelphia Eagles and beat the Patriots to win another Super Bowl. I don't care what they say about you at that point. I don't care what people say. You got Super Bowls. So wherever anybody else say you got Super Bowls and they don't. Some of the best in the game don't even have 1 Super Bowl, and you got 2 with 2 different teams. You beat your old team that you won the championship with the year before. I ain't got nothing else to say. You don't say nothing to me. The only thing you better say to me is I'm a champion. Whether I was a backup, whether I was the kicker, the place kick, whatever. The water boy, but still on the team, still had the jersey. I won. Man, oh man, I absolutely enjoyed this one. Especially learning the players. I'm pretty sure there's more players out there. Probably in the comments, people probably have already left some players. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Once again, this is my second channel, Football Talk Gaming, and love you guys. Be sure to subscribe.